honey thyme roasted apricots, because it's summer, in a crumble bar, close to my heart, something you've made before. Slight variation with almonds. Perfect breakfast, lunch, snack, tea, dessert. I mean, it is just that thing to have in your back pocket all summer long. These are a riff on those rhubarb crumble bars from the winter, but those are a favourite. I'm a stone fruit fanatic, and if it ain't broke, don't fix it. This recipe is slightly different because I'm using ground almonds in the mix. You could use ground pistachios, they would be fantastic, or you could crumble them through the topping. You get your glut of apricots, it works with peaches too, and nectarines. Halve them, drizzle them with some honey. I've added thyme, you could add cardamom, cinnamon stick, and roast them for 20 minutes. Then make your very simple topping. Obviously, I'm using brown butter. There's a variation in the recipe if you just want to use melted butter. I get it, but I don't. Sugar, ground almonds, plain flour with a little cinnamon. You can use spelt flour, you can use some rye flour. Honestly, this is like a choose your own adventure crumble topping. And of course, some jumbo oats. Mix them, layer them, bake them, cool them, slice them, eat them. This is your summer gift. We're gonna start by halving and stoning our, what are they? Apricots. Apricots. That's what we're doing today, apricots. You need about a dozen for this, and you want to put them in a dish that will fit nice and snug. If they're too far apart, they might burn with the honey. Fit them in snugly. I'm going to add some thyme here. Now, you can add the whole sprigs. Rosemary's delicious here. Cardamom is fantastic if you're a cardamom fan. I'm actually going to take the leaves off the sprigs. That's because I want the leaves to go into the center of these bars. If I just put the sprigs in, I definitely don't want the twigs. I would take the whole thing out and then you won't get the actual thyme bits. Little trick, instead of peeling them bottom to top, so this is the bottom where they're grown out of the ground, go top to bottom, so hold them at the top and just pull. You'll get them all off the stem. And now you're going to do a couple of tablespoons of honey, just enough to coat them. So you want a nice runny honey if possible. And then I'm just going to turn them, oh, I need some salt, that's what I need. And I'm going to put in a splash of vanilla. Got vanilla? Just a little bit because it will just bring out the flavour. So I'm just smearing these over so that the honey evenly coats the top and they don't burn in some places. Turn them right side up. This side gets lovely and blistered. And my cinnamon stick, which was already in here, but just in case you missed it. I'm gonna roast these at 220 degrees for about 20 minutes. So, I browned some butter because along with my obsession with stone fruit, you all know I have an obsession with brown butter and I use it whenever I can. If you don't have the patience or the inclination to brown your butter, simply melt 180 grams of butter. Otherwise, this is 180 grams of browned butter from a 200 gram log. To the brown butter, I'm going to add 150 grams of soft brown muscovado sugar. Stir that through. And to that, I'm going to add 120 grams of flour with a splash of cinnamon. I mean, this really couldn't be easier. 60 grams of ground almonds, because they are great in this. And I'm going to give those a little stir just before I add the oats. This is basically a crumble topping. 150 grams of jumbo oats. And it is only just going to come together, this mixture. Basically granola. Gonna add a sprinkling of salt, because again, always. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take 2/3 of this mixture, just gonna actually bring it together with my hands. You want it to be crumb texture, just like that. So it holds together, but it's not super dry and not overly wet. I'm gonna take 2/3 of this and sprinkle it into the bottom of my pan and just press it down. Okay, so my base is very nicely tucked into the bottom of my pan. I'm going to take these previously roasted apricots and I'm just going to layer them on top of my crumble base. There we go, simple. Now, if you're not going to roast your apricots and you've got some excellent jam hanging around in your fridge, if you don't have the time or you don't have any apricots or any other stone fruit and you don't roast them, and you have some very good jam in your fridge, you can use that. The other thing would be delicious would be put a layer of strawberry jam under the apricots, but it would make it much sweeter. I'm going to take the cinnamon stick out. It would make it much sweeter, and I like it tart. But, you know, this is up to you how you decide to make them. I'm going to scrape out all of this honey glaze, all of these thyme sprigs that are going to make it even jammier as they cook again. We're going to take the remainder of our topping now and sprinkle it evenly over the top. We're not going to press it down. It should be crumbly in texture. If you want to, you can add some ground nuts to the top, pecans, almonds, pistachios. To keep this nut-free, I've used ground almonds in the mixture. You can use all flour, but you have a real choice of flour. So spelt flour, buckwheat flour, rye flour, a combination of all of them. So you've got oodles of choice. 45 minutes in the oven, 190. Let it cool and we'll be good to go. Shall we slice? So I like to do this on a tray. On a tray? On a board. I like to do this on a board. Get some more even cut. And this is, I can tell you they're delicious because the evidence is here, but they've got this beautiful caramelized quality around the edge. So this will make 16 squares if you make it in a 20 centimeter or an 8-inch tin. Look, you can see this beautiful, it's got a crunchy bottom, it's got a beautiful orange layer of apricot, slightly sweet, tartness from the fruit, crunch from the butter. I mean, look at the bottom, it's great. Apricot to top, honey brings sweetness, crumble brings crunch, yogurt brings an acidity which is just marries everything together. And it's so healthy, right? For more delicious treats like these, hit the button and subscribe. Never miss a recipe.